Hi everyone, my name is Julie Jeffers. I'm the nutrition coach here at Mind and Body Solutions, and today we are going to be talking about how to restore a damaged gut. So, in the world of functional medicine, they use what's called the 4Rs. So, we're going to go over what they are and how to implement them on your gut health, gut restoration journey. So, the first R is remove. So this is in reference to removing triggers of digestive distress. Now I might be asking Julie, how do I know what my triggers are? Because not everyone has the same triggers. So this is where you start what's called an elimination diet. So basically, you strip down your diet pretty bare bones and you eliminate the main, most common triggers of digestive distress. So this is going to be dairy, grains, eggs for some people, gluten, legumes, and sugar. So you're going to get rid of all of those. Basically, you're just eating meat and vegetables for a while. And then you're going to pay attention to how you feel. So I want you to have like a little journal or in like on your phone, keep track of it, but make a little log of how you feel. You're going to do that for about 4 weeks of just, I know it sounds annoying and terrible to like have to be that limited, but for like 4 weeks or so, limit those foods, pretty much stick to meat and vegetables for a while. And then one by one, you're going to reintroduce the food you eliminated. So let's say, okay, you've had your month-long period of elimination. Now you're going to pick, let's say, black beans. Okay, you're going to have black beans for like a couple days, and then you're going to stop for a couple days. And you're going to see, like, did I have a lot of bloating? Did my stomach get upset? Did I feel like I have a lot of gas? Was I constipated? Was I the opposite of constipated? Pay attention to all those things. Have your few days on with it, and then have your few days off. And then, okay, you've had your few days off again where you're just back to meat and vegetables. Now you pick the next thing. Now you try, okay, let's try adding soy back into our diet. See how that does. And again, pay attention to how your body responds and keep doing that. Keep slowly adding back in for only a few days what you originally removed. Make a note of how you feel, if there's anything, if you have some extreme reaction, and that will kind of help you pinpoint like, okay, I'm fine with soy, I'm fine with gluten, but when I added back dairy, that's where the big problem was. So that helps you kind of identify, okay, this is one that like my body is not ready to handle right now. I need to just kind of eliminate it long term, but at the same time temporary. I'm just saying for probably a couple months as we work to heal the gut, because while it's not forever, it is not going to be like, oh, cut it out for 2 weeks and then add it back in and you'll be fine forever. Like healing takes time. So you're going to have to get rid of some things for some time, but eventually we're hoping to be able to get it to where your body is functioning optimally and you can process these foods. So you might be asking, okay, why do I need to do this? Like, what's the point? So the reason you were likely having a reaction is something that a lot of people refer to as leaky gut. It's also called intestinal permeability. Basically, think of it as like, okay, here's your intestines. There's like a tube here, and someone with a pencil and poked little holes all in your intestines. So as your body is digesting food and it's flowing through those intestines, it's seeping through those little holes, partially digested food. And so it's going into your bloodstream. And your immune system is like, what is this? Because it's not broken down into the form that your blood normally is used to carrying. So your immune system is like, there's this foreign matter in the bloodstream. We don't know what it is, so we're going to attack it. When in reality, it could just be, some corn that wasn't chewed up all the way. You know what I'm saying? But your body is like, that is a threat, that is harmful to us, so it's going to attack it. The attack causes inflammation because that's what the body does. When there's something, it causes inflammation, and short-term inflammation is a good thing. It's part of the healing process. But if every day, because you have, permeable intestines, if every day stuff is leaking into your bloodstream, then every day you're going to be having that inflammation. So this is why long-term leaky gut problems lead to chronic inflammation, which then, leads to this problem, this problem, this problem, this problem. And you might say, okay, well, why do I have leaky gut in the first place? Well, a lot of it can be a factor of just diet and lifestyle. So I would say for most people, leaky gut occurs, if you've had some big illness and the doctors put you on antibiotics, those don't discriminate in the bacteria they wipe out. They kind of like get rid of all of it. So it allows for, kind of kills the good beneficial gut bacteria that we need, and also while also killing the bad. But then your immune system's kind of weakened, and it's easier for harmful bacteria to kind of creep back in and dominate. And so it'll start to, poke holes in your intestines and, leak to your bloodstream, cause all the issues. Okay, so the second R stands for replace. So this is where we're talking about replacing digestive enzymes. And, these are enzymes needed for digestion, but these can be found in the form of food or supplements. Now, if you're a patient here, almost all patients are already on a digestive enzyme. You might not know that you are because it's not like it necessarily says on the bottle, digestive enzyme, super clearly. But for the majority of people, one of the practitioners, they put you on one that works best for you. So if you have any questions about which one you're on or which one is it for you, talk to your practitioner and they'll let you know. But we can also get the enzymes we need through food. So there's 3 different broad categories. There's protease. These are enzymes that break down protein. There's amylases. These are enzymes that help break down carbohydrates into more simple sugars that can be easily absorbed and better digested. And then there is lipase, and this one breaks down fats into lipids. So those are the 3 main categories. And so some foods that contain these are papaya, pineapple, kiwi, and ginger. These are going to have your protease, so they help to digest proteins, especially with the pineapple and the kiwi. If you've ever gotten that kind of tingly feeling on your tongue that some people get when eating a lot of either of these, that's the enzyme working. And then for mangoes and bananas, these have amylase, so those are going to break down complex carbs into simpler sugars. And then avocados contain lipase, which is going to help break down those fats into lipids that the body can use in other ways. And then sauerkraut, so fermented cabbage, is one that has a variety of digestive enzymes because the digestive enzymes occur during the fermentation process. So this is one that's also a probiotic. It's kind of dual purpose health food that's great to incorporate into your diet. So this one not only has digestive enzymes, but it also has probiotics, which we're going to touch on now. The third R stands for reintroduce. So this is exactly what it sounds like. It's the reintroduction of beneficial bacteria to your gut. So like I talked about earlier, a lot of the cause of leaky gut is we've taken a round of antibiotics and it kind of wiped out all the bacteria, the good and the bad. And then a lot of us don't do anything to replenish the good bacteria. So we're just fine. We go on living life and everything. And so as we come in contact with stuff in our environment, bad bacteria creeps back in, whereas we haven't reintroduced the good bacteria. And so we kind of get into this whole slew of issues again. So we want to focus on adding good bacteria to your gut. Again, this can be done through supplements and food. A lot of people will take a probiotic supplement, but I would say, that can get really expensive. The cheaper ones that you might find at the grocery store, the issue with those is you don't know if the strains are even still viable. So probiotics are really sensitive to heat. And so if they got processed and got too hot, or in the way to the store they got too hot, or if you buy it and maybe it was still viable and then you left it in your car in the summer and it, got like 120 degrees in the car temperature, that's going to kill the probiotics, and they're not live, they're not active, they're not viable anymore. So, and another thing with the probiotic supplements is it might only be like 6 different strains, or like different strains of probiotic bacteria serve different purposes. So it's really good to get a wide variety. And sometimes when you're purchasing them, it might only have 6 strains, and there's way more than 6. So that's just my recommendation. Or the ones that are high quality are just very expensive. So sometimes it gets to be a really expensive health habit that gets hard to maintain, when you could also just eat some probiotic rich foods, which include, my favorite is going to be raw sauerkraut, raw fermented sauerkraut. So when I'm saying this, I'm talking about there's no vinegar in it. Most of the time the packaging boasts that it has, it's fermented and there's probiotics and whatever. It's always going to be in the refrigerated section in most grocery stores. That's by the deli. You do not want the sauerkraut that's going to be on the shelves next to the pickles. That's made with vinegar. Vinegar is not going to produce probiotics in the way that fermentation does. Or not in the way, it doesn't. Fermentation is what produces the probiotics within the food. Additionally, kimchi, if you can buy, find truly traditionally prepared fermented kimchi, that's probiotic rich. If you know someone or go to farmers markets or special health food stores, or if you do it yourself, other fermented vegetables, sometimes it'll be called lacto fermented vegetables. Those are going to contain probiotics as well. Getting into more savory types, I guess those are savory, but other kind of cuisines, miso and tempeh are both fermented soy. So fermented soy gets rid of a lot of the, bad anti-nutrients that are found in soy. And then it's also adding probiotics. So those are something you can find. If you can't find it in your normal grocery store, maybe try like an Asian food store. And then additionally, there is fermented or cultured dairy products. So that's going to be your kefir, kind of like a sour milk drink that has a lot of probiotics. Greek yogurt has probiotics. You want to make sure on any of the dairy that if you like flip it over and look at the container, make sure it says live and active cultures. That's what you're looking for. That's the indication that there's probiotics in it. So sometimes cottage cheese can have live and active cultures. So just, flip around your container and look for that. If you like cottage cheese, a brand that definitely has it is Good Culture cottage cheese. Similar to Greek yogurt is a different style of yogurt. It's Icelandic yogurt, but it's called Skyr, Skyr. That's high in probiotics. Again, just double check the packaging, make sure it hasn't been heated too much. If it would not have the label that says live and active cultures. If you're not doing dairy, it's totally fine. A lot of the coconut yogurt brands add probiotics into it. I know Coco June does, and the brand Coconut Cult. Those are both dairy-free yogurt brands. Just, again, check the packaging. Make sure that it says live and active cultures. That's what you're looking for. Additionally, if you're more into something you can drink, kombucha is a fermented tea drink. Those you just got to watch out for a lot of added sugar, because it's it kind of tastes vinegary. So a lot of times they'll add a lot of sugar into the flavoring. But You can find the brand GT kombucha usually has very low, if any, added sugar. Now, all kombucha is going to have sugar. All of it's going to have sugar. That's what makes the fermentation process happen. But what you want to look for is low added sugar. So the total sugar might be, a couple grams or so or whatever, but you want to see that the added sugar on the label is like 3 to 5 grams and nothing more than 5 grams, I would say. So that's a super probiotic rich drink. And then, so we have the probiotics. That's introducing our beneficial gut bacteria back into our body. Well, that bacteria needs something to feed on, which gets us into prebiotic fiber. So we have our probiotics and our prebiotics. So prebiotics are, a lot of times it's just eating certain vegetables. So high fiber vegetables in general, but specifically foods high in inulin. So this is going to be your artichokes, your asparagus. Apples contain inulin and pectin. That's another prebiotic. Basically, just eat a lot of fruits and vegetables, and you're going to get your prebiotic fiber will find its way in there. Additionally, like we talked about last time, resistant starches are a form of prebiotic fiber. So just to refresh, this is going to be your cooked and cooled, so basically leftover starches, so potatoes, rice, your whole grains, quinoa, oats, and your legumes. So if you have leftover beans, that sort of thing, when you have cooked them and then let them cool completely in the fridge and then, gently heat them up again, like microwave a little bit or lightly on the stovetop, that the structure has changed and it has become a resistant starch. So it resists initial digestion and makes its way further into your digestive tract where the probiotics live, and that is their food. That's how they grow and repopulate and stay strong, and that's what we want. Okay, the last R stands for repair. So this is kind of, we've set the foundation of, we've eliminated the stuff that's, furthering the damage. We've kind of replaced stuff that's helping digestion. We've reintroduced the beneficial bacteria. Now we need to repair and rebuild. So how do we do this? This is in reference to rebuilding and re-strengthening the intestinal lining. So one thing that's really great at doing this is the antioxidant glutathione. Glutathione helps to repair damage done to small intestinal cells, and it just helps strengthen that, intestinal wall. And so glutathione is not something our body, or it's not something we can just eat. It's something we have to eat the components to make. Our body will make it. So how do you do that? Well, glutathione mainly needs amino acids and sulfur. So amino acids, those are going to come from your high quality proteins, so meat and eggs, stuff like that. But one I will specifically recommend is bone broth. So bone broth has collagen and amino acids. The collagen is also going to help soothe and rebuild that intestinal lining. And then you get the amino acids. And then eating sulfurous vegetables. So this is garlic, onions, leeks, broccoli, cabbage, cauliflower, Brussels sprouts, anything in the cruciferous family. Those are sulfurous vegetables. So the amino acids and the sulfur combine, and your body takes the nutrients takes those components and is able to make glutathione, which is going to go to helping repair your small intestinal lining. So again, basically, I feel like everything I say boils down to this, but basically you want to be eating quality proteins, plenty of whole vegetables and some fruit to get your variety of fiber, whether it's resistant starch or inulin or pectin or anything like that. And then have some probiotics in there as well. And that's basically kind of your 3 things that will get you covered, get you repaired, and get you on the right track. Also, sorry, let me throw in a 4th. Bone broth, super important, super soothing, going to help rebuild and restore that gut. So, to recap, our 4 R's are removing the triggers of digestive distress, replacing the digestive enzymes that are going to help us break down and properly digest our food, reintroduce, so adding back beneficial probiotic bacteria and then feeding it with prebiotic fiber, and finally repair. This is getting nutrients like antioxidants like glutathione to help repair and strengthen the intestinal lining. So I hope you're able to learn a little bit about, how do I fix a damaged gut? A lot of our other health issues stem from the gut, so it's really, really important that we focus on the foundation of what's causing the issues. And I will see you guys next time.